The Lost Recipe. On Sunday afternoons, the kitchen of the old Vasquez house would come alive with the scent of simmering spices, roasted chilies, and fresh tortillas. Grandma Rosa, the matriarch of the family, ruled over the stove with a wooden spoon, her hands moving with the grace of years spent perfecting every recipe. The most cherished dish in the family was her legendary mole, a rich, velvety sauce passed down through generations. "This recipe is over 100 years old," she would say, stirring the pot with a knowing smile. "It must be made with patience and love." But Rosa never wrote it down. She believed true cooking came from the soul, not from instructions on paper. Then, one autumn, Rosa fell ill. As she rested in bed, the family gathered in the kitchen, desperate to recreate her mole. Maria, Rosa's eldest granddaughter, took charge, trying to remember the exact steps. She toasted the chilies until they darkened, ground almonds into a fine paste, and melted chocolate into the bubbling pot. "It smells right," Maria said, hopeful. When they brought a spoonful to Rosa, she took a careful taste, then sighed. "Almost," she whispered. "But something is missing." Days passed, and Rosa's condition worsened. Maria sat by her bedside, holding her frail hand. "Abuela, I don't want the recipe to die with you." Rosa smiled faintly. "It won't. The secret isn't in the ingredients, ni amor. It's in the memories." Maria spent the next weeks searching through old family journals, listening to her mother's childhood stories, and watching old home videos. One afternoon, she found a faded photograph of Rosa as a young woman, standing in the kitchen with her own mother. In the background, there was a small jar with a handwritten label, "Canela, cinnamon." "Cinnamon," Maria whispered in realization. That was the missing ingredient. She rushed to the kitchen and started over, carefully toasting each spice, letting the sauce simmer until it thickened. Then, with a deep breath, she added a pinch of cinnamon. As the rich aroma filled the air, a warmth spread through her chest. Maria brought a spoonful to Rosa, who was too weak to sit up. Carefully, she placed a drop on her grandmother's lips. Rosa's eyes fluttered open, and for a moment, a familiar sparkle returned. She smiled. "Now, that's my mole." That evening, surrounded by family, Rosa peacefully passed away. But her recipe, her legacy, lived on. Years later, Maria stood in the same kitchen, now the keeper of the family's traditions. Her own daughter, Sophia, stood beside her, eyes wide with curiosity. "Can I stir the mole, Mama?" Maria smiled, handing her the wooden spoon. "Of course. But remember, the most important ingredient is love."